Today on the Topic Show, Mr. Beast's first public statement since his trans co-host was accused of sending inappropriate messages to minors. Elon calls out CBS when they claim that Trump lied about Kamala Harris bailing out rioters during the George Floyd Summer of Love riots. That, in fact, did happen. Olympics debut with a drag performance, but not with cars. The new Corvette ZR1 is the most powerful production V8. Kamala Harris, her video in 2020 saying that we should not use terms like illegal aliens goes viral yet again. The Obamas also endorsed Kamala in a viral video. Vivek says that Republicans should want Biden to stay where he is and they have time. Chipotle CEO says that bigger portions are coming. And Boars Head recalls more than 207,000 pounds of meat. All of that and much more on The Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of The Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Guys say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free 50 caliber musket or flintlock pistol with every July purchase to celebrate the 4th of July. Just a couple hours left. Go to toppingtechnologies.com to learn more. Lastly, try to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could tell your friends and click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Going over to the business part of the podcast, you have the new Corvette ZR1 having the most powerful production V8. However, it still only has 2 pedals, and for some reason, well, the EPA cylinder deactivation. So a little disappointing to say the least for folks like myself. Now we'll go ahead and kick it off with a fun little, 30-second video from Chevrolet, which would be interestingly ironic if this soft, basically rudimentary commercial for the Corvette gets copyright stricken and they take music out. But nevertheless, we'll go ahead and I'll try to play that video so you can see it here. And of course, it's got some fancy upgrades. You got the carbon fiber rims to make it even more agile and better. There we go. So pretty cool. Kind of interesting of them to have that debut in that regard. And yeah, it's going pretty viral. I mean, it looks pretty aggressive and might be offensive to some for you to say this, but perhaps a more just aggressive, accurate NXX kind of from a certain perspective, maybe. Go ahead and we'll pull up good old motor1.com. You can see a couple more pictures of it and we'll go over the details. There you can see the carbon fiber wing. Probably about, I was gonna say, almost the size of a whale. It's not ridiculously big. Now they say it will have 1,064 horsepower, 215 mile per hour top speed, 1,200 pounds of downforce. Pretty impressive. So granted, I mean, the last ZR1 also was over 200 miles per hour. That's kind of the bare minimum these days when it comes to a higher end car. I mean, this is a top performer. It is a very big performance car, but let's be honest, it's not a super car in that regard. Now, of course, they say, quote, the 2025 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1, the most powerful V8 American production car ever. Of course, there's a little nuance there. It's the production American. Because again, I mean, you had the Callaway Corvette in the 90s. They had turboed, good old V8s and stick shift like they should all have. Now they say it has a twin turbocharged 5.5 liter flat plank crank V8 with 828 foot-pounds of torque with an 8,000 RPM redline, which that is pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. It says it'll do over 250 miles per hour and it conquered the quarter mile in less than 10 seconds, which is that really that impressive? I mean, Brian Walker was doing that in the 2001 film Fast and Furious, which is, of course, a very accurate documentary into the streetcar performance community, very accurate in all regards. Ha! That's a pun. Don't forget the main manifold error, but nevertheless. They also say that, and when equipped with the ZTK package, it has over 1,200 pounds of downforce, which is pretty impressive. They also say that the last ZR1 had 255 horsepower, which it also came with a stick shift, as all cars should have by default. That was a good old, I mean, talk about an investment opportunity. Again, never giving financial advice on the show in that regard. But the previous C7 Corvette with the engine in front and a stick shift, as they all should have by default, those are consistently listing and sometimes selling for $250,000 plus. Perhaps because a lot of people consider it's the last of the good Corvettes. I mean, more of an analog technology. Well, I mean, it's still highly digital, but in comparison, Yeah, the fact this doesn't have a third pedal, really grinds my gears. I guess the pun is perhaps best used in this segment of the show in terms of that type of metaphor. Now they say that the ZR1's engine is closely related to the Z06 LT6, known as the LT7, shares a block casting and only minor bits with the 6. Components that are different, though. The block itself is uniquely matched. New forged pistons contribute to the much lower compression ratio, 981, compared to the LT6's 1251, as do its all-new heads, and a different crankshaft is added. The twin ball-bearing turbochargers are mirror image of each other, featuring a single scroll volutes and intake side with a 76mm compressor wheels. Electronic wastegates enable the careful tuning of the behavior, particularly off throttle to prevent turbo lag. The turbos are also made from a special material called MAR, which is better than Inconel apparently, which, if you're a gun enthusiast, you probably remember the term Inconel from, I think, Dale Defense was one of the first major manufacturers to 3D print or additive manufacturing their suppressors, which, again, it was Inconel at that time a couple of years ago. Hold on here, get a couple more close-up pictures of it. So you see the engine. And it does look pretty good in yellow. That's a rare thing for cars. And it is a lot more angular. I'll do a couple more pictures here. Yeah, I don't know if they doubled the surface area on this car, just all the angles there. And of course, like higher performance cars, you got the Ford GT as well as some Porsches that have carbon fiber rims as well. Because again, that sprung weight versus unsprung weight makes all the difference in the world, especially on a track. You can see about a couple of those engines there. Oh, let's go back one more. Now, it is kind of sad to think, like, this is awesome engineering. It's great, top notch. I mean, how many of these are really going to go onto the track? Now, they're guessing that the new Corvette ZR1, the last one, Z06, is list price right under $115,000. They're guessing the new one, the ZR1, will be $150,000, with production coming to 2021 or 2025. That being said, what's the dealer markup going to be on this thing? Because again, especially for early adopters, people are going to pay a premium for this. I mean, I would never, granted, I'm not the core demographic with it going after. I drive cars with actually three pedals. We never have one with two pedals. It's so much more fun. But nevertheless, do you think someone will actually pay $250K or $200,000 plus once the dealer markups start going on there? Now they say maybe there's speculation because again, the new Corvette, there's a hybrid option and an EV option. Maybe the newest ZR won't have that. Maybe. So there's a speculation in that regard. It is impressive they cranked that much horsepower out of that engine, and it is nice that it is a good old V8, as all Corvettes should be. I mean, what was it? The Corvette has had the good old V8 realistically since 1956, I believe. Debuting the very first Corvette was in 1953. That did have a straight 6 engine, and granted, all the best Corvettes always had a manual transmission, of course, because as that should be all sports cars by default. Though, granted, that's just me. I'll die on that hill. It's one of those things where if you've never done it, I definitely recommend going out and trying it. It's so much more fun. Now, let me know in the comments, do you think they'll, granted, it's the ZR1, they're not going to mass produce this thing in terms of, the base Corvette's going to sell by a higher, much more number of units. How many people will pay over list price for this vehicle? And how long will it take for the market adjustment to actually come down to, not, actually getting a list price or below MSRP? Let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting business news, you have the Chipotle CEO saying they will increase proportion size after receiving complaints for seemingly years. This comes to us thanks to NBC News. They say, quote, Chipotle CEO says restaurants will serve bigger portions after complaints. Brian Nichols said that Wednesday about 10% of restaurants were outliers when it came to certain portions that needed to be restrained to the quote-unquote right standards. Now, that being said, if you talk to anyone online, it seems like 100% of the restaurants are like that, given how many people are complaining, which is also kind of the sad part about humanity. Funnel this statistic on customer service. For every great experience someone has with the business, they'll tell an average of like 1.2 people. For every negative experience they have with the business, they'll tell about 7.7 people. Yeah, it is a huge difference proportion. Now, this has come to us thanks to Marlene and Amelia, who are writers at NBC. And they say, quote, tired of measly Chipotle bowls, the company's CEO said that all restaurants will serve bigger portions following social media complaints against the Mexican grill chain over smaller servings. Brian Nico, again the head of the company, said during an earnings call to investors, there was never a directive to provide less to our customers, unquote. However, coincidentally, throughout the years, the portions have just got smaller and smaller and smaller. Now, he says that, quote, getting the feedback caused us to relook at our execution across the entire system. We have focused in on those outlier proportion scores based on customer surveys. Now, they also noted that they have 30,500 locations in the United States. It says, quote, we are re-emphasizing training and coaching around ensuring we are consistently making bowls and burritos correct. We also have leaned in and re-emphasized generous portions across all of our restaurants. It is a core part of brand equity of Chipotle, which it was 10 years ago. I'm trying to think last time I actually personally went there, which, yeah, I think it was. I was still in inside sales at HPE all those years ago. Yeah, so about 10 years ago, I went to Chipotle, and that was the first thing I noticed. Well, there you go. Right, the restaurant smells pretty good too, but I just remembered how astronomically large the portion sizes were. There's so much that, I mean, you get full and you still have stuff to take home. And that really blew my mind. And yeah, all my friends that go there now these days, I mean, they'll text me and they'll say, hey, I mean, it's just nothing comparing to what it used to be. So, I mean, and granted, they also did warn last earnings, after they released their Q2 results, that their margins are going to shrink Q3, Q4, partially because they're going to provide more for the consumers. I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do in terms of buying an increasing volume of materials to get maybe the lower price per unit, or in this case, maybe the price per pound, where they're buying the ingredients for the burritos and all the fun things that they make. But yeah, let me know. Is this something that you've noticed anecdotally when you go to the Chipotle store? I mean, to me, again, it used to be a huge thing, pun moderately intended. But let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Now, going over to the Culture podcast, you have Elon calling out CBS for rewriting history on Kamala bailing out folks during the George Floyd Summer of Love riots, which again cost over $2 billion in damage, and dozens of people lost their lives. But never forget, CNN said it was a mostly peaceful protest while this reporter was standing in front of burning buildings. Thank goodness we have places like X where people actually fact check things correctly. This comes to us thanks to Elon himself over on X Twitter, in which he simply says, CBS lies about Trump lying, which grammatically sounds correct, but awkward as hell. And it's a screenshot where you have CBS News Minnesota, as they would probably say. And it says, Trump falsely accused Harris of donating to Minnesota Freedom Fund, bailing out dangerous criminals. And the fact checker said, fact check, on June 1st, 2020 at they got granular, 3:33 p.m. Minnesota time, Kamala Harris tweeted, if you're able to chip in now to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to help post bail for those protesting on the ground in Minnesota, unquote. And they said the tweet contained a donation link. Fact checked. So, yeah, never forget, during the George Floyd Summer of Love riots, they specifically took resource allocations to help those criminals get out of jail. Now, this one pretty valid, got, even more, 39.7 million views and 438,000 likes, which is a friendly reminder to like this video and help with the magical algorithms. Now, scrolling down some of the top comments coming from Gunther Eagleman saying, quote, CBS is mainstream media trash. Everyone knows it. Unquote, getting 12,000 likes. Paul Zupa says CBS just got obliterated by the truth thanks to X, getting 1.3 thousand likes. X Van Fleet, who I follow, especially an interesting gentleman who escaped communism in China. Oh, we finally found our contrarian. He's down low in the comments. But nevertheless, G Van Fleet says, quote, the legacy media is getting sloppier and sloppier with their lies, which can be easily debuted with a quick internet search. They're desperate. They're digging their own grave, unquote, getting 1.1 thousand likes. Sassfaris84 also says legacy media is all one big rig system against Americans, Democratic left swing shills. Getting 738 likes. And we finally got a contrarian statement. I don't know if he was, I was about to say, definitely not, working harder. Just, I wouldn't guess. But Mr. Luke Zaleski, he's finally chipping in again. He's a famous leftist where his claim to fame, or what he is most proud of, is writing an article for GQ where he said young boys should not be able to play football. He also has a picture of him wearing a V-neck as a cartoon character as his profile picture. Rudimentary to say the least, as we all know, all true men suit up, obviously. But nevertheless, let's see what Luke has to say. Luke says, quote, X cubed. Elon lies about CBS lying about trying Trump. The main distinction here is that Trump is implying that she donated. In a tweet in 2020, she promoted donating to those who wanted release. She never personally donated, didn't she? Go for Trump. I got 77 likes, huh? Pulling down more and more. Oh, let me see here. Was he ratioed himself? Harry Higgins replied to him saying, fact checked by the listed publishers above. Well, then you have it. The world is flat. Your likes. Huh? Annoyingly Right says she donated her time and her name. You're being so dishonest. So he was ratioed by a number of comments, but none of those comments were liked more than his original comment. Going down more and more. Satoshi Club says every media outlet right now, you have all the traditional ones like NBC, ABC, Vice, CNN, CBS, Politico, Google, says democracy is extremely dangerous to our democracy. And that got 1.9 thousand likes. Another contrarian statement. Here we go. Good old Brian Krasenstein, which many would argue is meant to the vacuous. He says, why are you equating protesters to dangerous criminals? I thought you were the ones that were for free speech. Also, aren't you also donating money to help people fight for their free speech? Mentally vacuous, yes, Brian, but got 5.2 thousand likes. We say that because, again, they weren't getting arrested for protesting. They were being arrested for burning buildings down and throwing bricks through windows. Yeah, an inconvenient truth for Mr. Brian Cranston. Well, I mean, he got the most responses, too. 2,000 responses. Maybe he was ratioed, or maybe they all agree with him. Again, he did get 5.2 thousand likes. Charlie Simpson says, why are you what about it? Getting 1.4 thousand likes. Real Defender says, last time I checked, protesters don't set city blocks on fire. Getting 2.8. I thought my like would get 2.9 thousand likes. Nope, did not. Going down more and more. Fat Don says these people aren't protesters. They burned down blocks upon blocks of buildings and people were murdered. Getting 1.1 thousand likes. Oxy Wufu? Oh no, Ox Waifu. Says, quote, since when did burning down a city equal peaceful protest? Getting 855 likes. Let's see, there's gotta be someone who agrees with them. Maybe he's just buying likes, I don't know. Let's see. Not a lot of likes, but it does have a duck as a profile picture, so it got my attention. Martin, with a duck picture, says, quote, haha, that's funny. If Trump lied about her, it would be a different ballgame, but you'd be ranting all day about it. The double standards with liberals, bro. Getting 154 likes. One more. JD Sharp says, quote, better question is, why are Democrats scrubbing the internet of everything that makes Kamala look bad if she's if she has so much momentum? Good question. Getting 411, get 412 likes. So Brian Krasenstein, again, 5.2 thousand people liked his comment, but of the 2,000 people who commented to his comment, mostly roasting him. We also have someone by the name of, what the heck is this? Blur says, imagine how much of a liar you would have to be to lie about someone lying. Getting 5.2 thousand likes. Sarah Bull says, the FBI is investigating Trump for attempted assassination of him. We truly live in a crown world. Getting 3.4 thousand likes. AKA says, Democrats lie about everything. Gave 1,000 likes. Let's see, same contrarian statements here, besides the first two. Oh, I forgot another one. Art Candy, which I follow just because he has a funny name. Ridiculous name considering her emojis are a bag of popcorn, which, spoiler alert, is not sweet. It's actually copious amounts of fats and butter. And then you have a cup of water with a straw, which I want to say statistically speaking, I'm not saying there's a 100% chance you're a serial killer if you drink water out of a straw, with a caveat if you don't have a disability. But yeah, water in a cup with a straw, that's also not sweet. Nevertheless, Art Candy, spelled Candee, which is a ridiculous name, almost as ridiculous as a name like Topping. Oh wait, I partially digress. But in all seriousness, Miss Art Candy says, quote, where's the proof she donated? Unnecessary community note. She got 96 likes. 11 responses, but where are they? Interesting, they're not showing up. Let's see, any other contrarian statements? Old picture of Trump with baller hair, look at that. That was when he was 34 years old. Nice. Scrolling down more and more. But yeah, it is fascinating to see all the mainstream media leaning one direction. Well, I guess it's not fascinating. It's kind of status quo at this point. They've been doing it for years. But yeah, just a friendly reminder of never forget the George Floyd Summer of Love riots, where yeah, over $2 billion of damages. Businesses, people lost their life savings, their life work when all these small businesses were destroyed physically, and dozens of people died. And yet people still say it was a mostly peaceful protest. Yeah, not so much. Let me know, do you remember, were you around one of those riots? Or did it affect your business? Let me know in the comments. As always, it'd be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting cultural news, you have Mr. Beast's first post since his trans co-host, well, is allegedly being accused of inappropriate messages with minors, which, not good to say at least. Now, a quick summary of the situation. his old co-host, although I don't think this person is older than Mr. Beast, nevertheless, his previous co-host, Chris, was a biological man who all of a sudden decided to take copious amounts of drugs to transition, while at the same time abandoning his wife and child. And then later, subsequently, giving the child high heels. My child is 2 or 3. And then, of course, being a cliche, very similar to Dylan Mulvaney, and performing cliche women things that maybe people would call women's face, and making the videos really awkward. But Mr. Beast came out at the time. He said he's totally supportive of Chris, all good, all cool. And his big point of controversy, and the parents who had a modicum of intelligence or, were paying attention, probably stopped watching and allowing the kids to watch Mr. Beast, as his controversial character was bringing to the forefront of the show and introducing what most people consider inappropriate child themes into the show. Now, a lot of people are not surprised that this individual apparently has allegations of messaging young boys inappropriately, which is not good news or convenient news for the #1 YouTuber on the planet, Mr. Beast. Now, Mr. Beast finally came out with a statement. Took him a little while. And he says, quote, "Over the last few days, I've become aware of serious allegations of Ava." Another issue, again, reference 1984, a brilliant book by George Orwell, is rewriting history and obfuscating the truth. Now, again, this is sometimes hard to follow around because they changed their names. So, well, I forgot this video will probably get pulled off YouTube and I'll get no strike. But nevertheless, that's why you always tune into places like Spotify, Apple Podcast, and Big Green Alternative, where I upload every day. So again, if you don't see me uploading on YouTube, it's not because I don't want to, because I'm being forced to go somewhere else, or more accurately, they just don't want to see it. Now, nevertheless, one of the biggest confusing things is that they changed the name, so you don't know what we're talking about. So again, in this regard, Ava is what Chris changed the name to. So again, to clarify what Mr. Beast is talking about. Again, Mr. Beast says, quote, "Over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online, and I'm disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, I've been focusing on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with Mr. Beast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions." Unquote. I'm going to insert a quick line here. But Mr. Beast was okay with having this trans individual being super famous in front of kids and interacting with kids, which again is very controversial for most people culturally in the United States, especially. Now, again, going back to Mr. Beast's statement, he says, quote, "I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their filings," unquote. Probably would be more prudent to actually, call the police. I mean, that one would think that would be one of the first things you do. Because again, this is a serious allegations of misconduct, illegal and immoral, pretty much all over the world. Well, maybe not San Francisco. Now, this went pretty viral. Got 93 million views, as well as 761,000 likes. So, in terms of like ratio, not the best for Mr. Beast. Now, going down to some top comments, you have Gunther Eagleman simply saying, quote, "Dude needs to be locked up," getting 21,000 likes. Hodge twins also, and again, in terms of the evidence we have today, many of them are, again, coming from third-party individuals or individuals who had previously worked with Chris, coming out with videos saying of their experience, and there's some screenshots of some text apparently. Again, you do want to be thorough with an investigation. You have a forensic analyst to ensure that the messages are authentic and they're real. Hodge twins also says his name is Chris, and the dude left his family to talk to little boys online. They got 93,000 likes. Not quite million. Now, the quartering says, quote, "There have been several young men under the age of 16 that have come forward. Chris Ava was predating on your viewers. Predating. Again, click that subscribe button. I have a theory. The more subscribers I've gained over time, the better my speaking has become. Granted, some might argue it's just a modicum of improvement. However, as I've gotten more subscribers, I've slowly but surely been able to speak more articulately. Believe it or not, you should speak a lot faster, yes, and it's mostly monotone. So slowly but surely, I've improved. So if you can click that button, and again, tell your friends, you'd feel my theory of someday making it through an entire episode completely uninterrupted and speaking proficiently. It's a tall order, some might say impossible, but nevertheless, if you click that button, again, greatly appreciate it. The quarter also says his name is Ava, and you enabled him to prey on young viewers, and this statement is pathetic. Why is it so hard disavowing grooming? Getting 7.4 thousand likes, which, if you look at the things that YouTube stands for and YouTube is pushing in terms of the algorithm, what's most popular, I can't help but think having a trans co-host was a big contributing factor of another reason why Mr. Beast has a huge growth rate. Again, it's what YouTube is really pushing these days. And fascinatingly enough, any critique of that, well, they get very, very little views. I don't think that's a coincidence. Now, you also have Gunther Eagleman saying, quote, is Chris not Ava, getting 7,000 likes, which is also spelled Chris with a K. Ridiculous. Also, it's ridiculous his name like Topping, but nevertheless. Colin Rugg says, smart move to distance yourself from him. He's clearly a liability, getting 3.5 thousand likes. Gaze Against Groomers says, about damn time you said something, getting 4.2 thousand likes. Gaze Against Groomers also says, scroll down here, we demand that you fire him and remove him from your videos last year, when disgusting screenshots were first exposed. You should have listened to us. Instead, you defended him and accused all of us of being transphobic. Shameful, unquote, getting 8.3 thousand likes, which, yeah, I don't think Mr. Beast would ever do that. Not just because of the cost and logistics of, like, redoing those videos. I don't know if he'd lose the views and statistics. And, yeah, I'm not sure about that. Now, you also have a repost from Gaze Against Groomers where they say, quote, former employee of Mr. Beast says that, oh, I guess I did the hashtag for Chris, is the tip of the iceberg, and that Mr. Beast knew everything. He also claims that he couldn't fire Clearest because of all the dirt that he would blackmail them with. As of now, Mr. Beast still has made a statement. Again, that was previously, that was earlier. And you have World of Statistics saying, quote, thank you for addressing this, Jimmy. Getting 5,000 likes, and finally a first moderately positive comment about and to Jimmy, or Mr. Beast, nevertheless. Gunther Eagleman says, no mercy for pedos, getting 10,000 likes. Luke Rakowski says, who is Ava, getting 3.2 thousand likes. Greg says, you did this, or sorry, you did what's best. Thanks, Mr. Beast. Now back to improving the world, one video at a time. Oh my God, they got 146,000 likes. Could this be the one that gets to 147? No, but I did like that statement nevertheless. AKA says, we warned you, you didn't listen, you deserve to be canceled. Getting 47,000 likes, which, I mean, interestingly enough, of all the YouTube personalities, I venture to say Mr. Beast is uncancelable. Again, he's got like 300 million followers on the YouTube. He's got, his business is worth millions, I mean, generating hundreds of millions of dollars every year. Revenue, I know he always says it's not profitable because they reinvest everything in the business, which many entrepreneurs do, including myself. But yeah, I don't know if he'd ever realistically get canceled. Flip.gg says, does one bad cancel out of 10,000 good deeds? Let's know. Huh? Oh, does one bad cancel out? Well, 10,000 good deeds. Let us know. Okay, I got 166,000 likes. Oh, jeez. The Repill Meme says, Mr. Beast's new video. I hired 100 lawyers to save my friend Ava from pedo allegations. Oh my God, they got 116,000 likes. Let's see here. Marjorie Taylor Greene press release parody account says, you removed Chris Tyson or Chris stepped away. Which is it? Getting 20,000 likes. Let's see here. Oh, this is a good juxtaposition of history. NG Lee says, looks like he turned out to be your worst sniper after all. So Mr. Beast, as soon as Chris decided to tell the world that he was transitioning with the drugs and everything, and the haircuts, says, quote, yes, this is getting absurd. Chris isn't my nightmare. He's my effing friend, and things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to piss me off. Yeah, how'd that end up, Mr. Beast? That got 75,000 likes. I thought that would get more likes, actually. But, yep. That says that again, that actually happened originally, was it March 2023? It only took about a year for this to brew to the surface. Wall Street Bet says, stand on your business, fad the cancel culture. 9,000 likes for that. Scrolling down more and more. Any more contrarian statements? Yeah, it's mostly negative, which makes sense given the situation. Let's see. The only question is how many subscribers will Mr. Beast actually lose? I'm kind of curious. If I just go to the good old, oh, I mean, he is synonymous with YouTube. That's why I may speculate. Why did you? Was YouTube pushing this on him? Were they? I mean, let's see here. I'm sure he still has. I'm sure this hasn't affected more than even 1% of his subscriber rate. Oh yeah, 306 million subscribers. Which is, again, the most popular channel on the planet for the YouTube. So, let's see if there's one or two more interesting and funny memes here. So, not great news for Mr. Beast. I mean, I know most of the people, in terms of controversy when Chris first came out, or transition, whatever you want to call that process, I mean, most of the parents who are paying attention in terms of this, again, this being a huge controversy, most of them had their kids, you know, if they're good at IT, they just blacklist a channel or make it so you can't find the channel, or make just just ban YouTube. I mean, it's not much good for the kids. So I think, I mean, Mr. Beast, if anything, lost a lot of the previous subscribers at that point. At this point, I wonder how many he could really lose. Now, this last meme is, a little dark humor. It's from Izzard, and it says, quote, "Explain this then." And again, this is a Photoshop, of course. It says, "I left my tranny friend alone with children on an island for 30 days. And that got 152 likes. Again, it was obviously a doctor screenshot. So, hey, here's a picture of Chris putting high heels on the toddler. And this one, it actually a comment from Matt Brainard says, "If only there was an earlier indication that there's a problem with this individual, some of you could have known." And yeah, it says his child. I guess so another mentally vacuous thing, in addition to being morally vacuous and most likely a criminal, alleged, we'll see what the court says. Puts the child on Snapchat, I think that's what the app is, taking a picture of your child, and with them wearing high heels, and it says, "Tucker close to slay this morning." Yeah. Now that did get 708 likes. So it'll be interesting. I can't help but think the number of people who already were at a point of controversy in terms of, Mr. Beast having his co-host coming out as trans, I think all those people unsubscribed as soon as that happened. And as soon as you saw, of course, then there was a huge change in the dynamic of the show, because it used to be a show about the boys, helping out everyone. And I think they also subscribed. And at this point, I wonder how many people care enough. I mean, a lot of people are bringing up excuses. I don't think he'll lose 1% of his subscriber base. But let me know in the comments, because as always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting cultural news: the Olympics have come, and it debuts with a drag race, but not with cars, and also with apparently Smurf and obese women. Interesting how what used to be the pinnacle of fitness has devolved. Now, this comes to us thanks to Libs of TikTok, in which it says, quote, "Actual opening of the ceremony of the Olympics. This isn't a parody. Rest in peace, Olympics." And probably this music will be terrible and get struck down. So perhaps this one time might be actually not a terrible thing that YouTube makes you click the button to make it, mute the music. So starting with what looks like to be a Smurf, a naked man, maybe with flowers all over himself, with a beard. An interesting move there, Cotton, as the sports balls announcers might say. Oh, it hurts my ears. The heck's that? So you got a guy dressed as a lady with long hair. They have someone the size of Lizzo dancing in the background with perhaps DARPA engineered military grade clothing that's staying on somehow. Thankful for that. What crap is this? Some type of music video of someone, their head off, they're holding their head by their chest, and that is speaking. And again, this isn't like a horror film or something on SNL. This is legitimate advertisement for the opening of the Olympics.
Saira, as I said, Saira, all will be well.
Well, this part of the ceremony is entitled Liberty and the Quest for Liberty.
Wow. Oh, that's a little scary. Might be offensive for those who have eyeballs still. A gal the size, about the size of Lizzo, in a dress with, what is it, diamond encrusted chains? Doing a little heart shape with your hands. And she also has, again, it's not supposed to be a comedy. She has like, what's it, a Bo Peep bonnet with an arrow through it? Like an old-timey joke? These people could run a mile or a quarter mile. I don't know how this is related to the Olympics. Is this supposed to be Blasphemy of the Last Supper? Is that what they're going for, this table shot? And also, the music's terrible. So again, if it's been muted by the YouTube evil forces or the all that kind of copyright stuff, it's really the music. It's really the music companies, which is ironic because by doing so, it makes it so that no one's going to hear their music. But nevertheless, yeah, that is bizarre. It got 4.4 million views though and 52,000 likes. Again, not a single thing about athleticism or talent. I can't fathom how that increases ticket sales. Again, the Olympics is one of the most profitable things out there. I mean, they are very efficient at making a profit and making money. I'm not seeing how this would make you any more money, except for the 18 people in San Francisco who presumably flew to go see this. But let's look at, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe all the top comments are giving them accolades, saying this is a great advertising. I'm going to go to the Olympics just to see this. Maybe probably not, but let's go ahead and dive on in. My first comments comes from Hodge Twins saying Olympics went beyond woke, getting 3.7 thousand likes. Planet of Memes responds, but not in meme form. But Planet of Memes does say, will anybody else not be watching Olympics this year? Getting 1.4 thousand likes, which, no, I work for a living, and no, I have other things to do, so I won't, but yeah, it's one of those things I haven't watched in a couple of years. I appreciate the athleticism when they actually highlight it. Quite interesting, but yeah, not this year. Jack says, France is a failure of a country, getting 4.5 thousand likes, which, no, yeah, what was France known for? They, in terms of their contributions to society, they made the Bugatti, depending on how you want to pronounce it, the bikini, must have come from France, I guess. Which, I mean, most people are on a low-carb diet anyway, so that's kind of not that important anymore. Eiffel Tower, which is ironically really critiqued when it first came out because I thought it was disgusting and, you know, architecturally a sin. What is France known for? Goodyear tires. Although the work ethic over there is so rudimentary and so lazy. American businessman famously was thinking about buying, Michelin tires. Goodyear's famously out of Ohio. But nevertheless, with Michelin, they went over there and they just observed, like, the workers, like, they work like 2 hours a day. I'm kidding. It's more like 4. It's like they they break. They sit around and drink wine. They work for like an hour or two, and they just take the rest of the day off. And the reason the businessman from America said he's not going to buy the company because his lack of work ethic, and with the laws of the EU, can't possibly critique them or have your employees work hard. He's like, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to get ROI on this. I'm not going to buy this. So we also have AKA saying, quote, the Olympics is a complete joke of trans and fat people, getting 2.8 thousand likes, which, yeah. Valentina Gomez says, a bunch of satanic shit. I don't like it. Olympics are supposed to be about sports, not about BS. Getting 2.1 thousand likes, which, yeah, it should be emphasizing things like, you know, maybe the athletes, the average abilities. America Papa Bear says, so are we boycotting the games? Getting 1.5 thousand likes, which, and that would be the easiest thing to boycott. I mean, shoot, I'm trying to think where would you even watch it. I don't even know who won the broadcasting rights for that. I'm definitely not going to tune in. Dr. Clown PhD says they have turned to the dark side, getting 466 likes. Ashley Hayes says it's like a Saturday night live sketch, getting 343 likes. Greater Than the Enemy says go broke, getting 326 likes. The Right Guy says the world needs Jesus, getting 812 likes. And he says it's like we stepped into a dimension of hell, getting 303 likes. Noah Fencebutt says Olympics used to be fun and inspiring, and now it is neither, getting 234 likes. Jeff says it's sad to see Olympics turn into a circus, getting 140 likes. Yeah. I mean, just anecdotally, my group of friends, not a single person has brought up the Olympics. I mean, I don't know. In terms of I don't know how many people in the United States are going to tune in this year. But yeah, in terms this commercial doesn't make me want to tune in or pay to go see the Olympics. I mean, does it for you? Let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going on to the political part of the podcast, you have the Kamala Harris 2020 video where she says we should reject using terms like illegal alien, and the video went viral. This comes to us thanks to the YouTube, or rather more accurately, the X-Twitter profile and wokeness. He says, quote, Kamala Harris at the Islamic Center in California. And she says we must object when they use terms like radical Islamic terror or illegal alien. It's not too bad. So in terms of length, it's only about 40 seconds long, so it won't hurt your earballs too much. But let's hear it straight from Kamala.
You must have the courage to object when they use that term, radical Islamic terrorism, which ignores how Muslims have overwhelmingly been the greatest victims of terror. And we must also have the courage to reject that term, illegal alien. I have seen some of the worst of criminal behavior. I have seen the worst of crime. An undocumented immigrant is not a criminal.
What? illegal alien is quite literally a legal term. And yes, it is it quite literally is the definition of a crime to illegally cross the border and not do the proper immigration process. This is a friendly reminder, she was the leftist most senator. And she, in an unbiased, well, they now are biased because they try to rewrite history. They're showing their bias now. But was it Gov Fact Check rated her the most leftist of all of them? So just a friendly reminder, and this video kind of proves that point. Which again, under her, I was about to say her leadership. I don't know if she really. Under her leadership, she has been in charge of the border, and over 8 million illegals have crossed in the past 41 months. Which, again, is like the worst job you could possibly. I mean, I don't know anyone in history who's done a worse job guarding the border. Have you? Ridiculous. Now this got 934,000 views as well as 15,000 likes. Now, one of the first comments, disappointingly, is from Planet of Memes, which did not use a meme. But nevertheless, Planet of Memes says, quote, Kamala is even more anti-American than Joe, getting 1,000 likes. You say, or actually Paul Zupa says, quote, why would a border czar say this? Seems like Kamala is coddling criminals instead of standing strong for innocent Americans, getting 387 likes. Gunther Edelman says, quote, Kamala is trash, getting 423 likes. Trump.ai says, Kamala is a national security threat, getting 1.5 thousand likes. For our border, absolutely. The flag guy says this tells us everything we need to know about her. Iran and Russia are praying that she wins. Well, true, but they also forgot Mexico. Got 606 likes. Red Wave Press says radical and lying Kamala, getting 203 likes. Joey Martiano says she loves Muslims, pouring across our border to blow us up, getting 451 likes. One bad dude says she doesn't like America much, does she? Getting 279 likes. The Dark Knight says nothing to see here, just Kamala literally simping for terrorists, getting 142 likes. Not much like for her thus far. Report Dog says she wants to win Michigan and earn votes to the Hamas caucus, getting 68 likes. Mr. Beacom says, what else should you call Islamic extremists, getting 59 likes. See if there's any contrarian comments of someone praising her. Florida One Now, or Now One rather, says a true socialist who is here to destroy America. Media loves it. People despise her more than ever, getting 51 likes. Let's see. Any other notes? I'm trying to see if there's anyone who's supporting her, at least on this thread. Not so much. Let's see. Yeah. So, not so much as this battle video goes more and more popular. Yeah, I mean, the border is one of the most important issues when it comes to this presidential election. And I think a lot of people in the middle, and a lot of independents, a lot of libertarians, even libertarians who are firmly traditionally against borders, I think a lot of them are starting to see the negative ramifications of just basically having an open border. I think a lot of people are going to start to see this, start moving away from Kamala, even though some polls do say she's beating Trump. But let me know in the comments, do you think, I mean, if I was in charge of the Republican marketing department, I would be playing that video on reruns, just not 24/7, but a couple hours a day. Get that message sent out as wide as possible to the populace of the United States. So I do think it'll be one of the most, it is one of the hottest topics for the upcoming election. Now, do you think it'll be an effective methodology to win over votes? Let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, you have the Obamas endorsing Kamala in a viral video on X Twitter, getting over 60 million views, which is quite a few to say the least. Now, this comes to us straight from Barack Obama's X Twitter account, in which he says, quote, earlier this week, Michelle, I don't know, could I go for the worst Obama impression? I will try. Let's go for it. Earlier this week, Michelle and I and our friend Kamala Harris, we told her that we think she'll make a fantastic president of the United States, and she has our full support. At this critical moment in our country, we're going to do everything we can to make sure she wins in November. We hope you join us. Was that the worst Obama impression of all time? Let me know in the comments. Maybe? Or, well, maybe or not. Let me know. Now, this is only about 50 seconds long, and many people would say I should put a warning saying you might die of cringe or just that bad, but you've been forewarned. It's not too long. Yeah, Kamala wearing a tan suit and some type of what do they call that? Chains? The necklace with is it golden? I mean, given the price of gold, that wouldn't be the most terrible decision in terms of investments. Granted, not financial advice, but we'll go ahead and we'll play this.
Kamala.
Hello. Hi.
Hey there.
How rude is that? So she's in public walking around and she's using her phone on speaker. That's not very courteous to all the people standing around you. Also not good security, but I'll go ahead and I'll go back to the beginning of the video. How lazy is that? She doesn't hold her own phone? An assistant gives her her own phone. What?
Kamala.
Hello. Hi.
Hey there.
Oh, hi. You're both together. Oh, it's good to hear you both.
I can't have this phone call without saying to my girl Kamala, I am proud of you. This is going to be...
What? And I keep asking some of my left, more liberal friends. And in this case, proud of what? Again, give me like 3 bullet points of her accomplishments. I was gonna say we'd be waiting all day, but realistically we'd be waiting for the rest of our lives. We'll go ahead and get back to the video.
Be historic.
We called to say Michelle and I couldn't be prouder to endorse you and to do everything we can to get you through this election and into the Oval Office.
I was right. It is a gold chain. Again, given the price of gold, many people consider that a prudent investment. Perhaps that is one of the only prudent decisions she's made in her life. That and knee pads would probably be a good investment for her.
My goodness. Michelle, Brock, this means so much to me. I am looking forward to doing this with the two of you, Doug and I both, and getting out there, being on the road. But most of all, I just want to tell you the words you have spoken and the friendship that you have given over all these years mean more than I can express. So thank you both. It means so much. And we're going to have some fun with this too, aren't we?
As with a blue screen saying Kamala, or no, rather it says Harris for president. Yeah, and it went viral, got 63.2 million views, but only 756,000 likes, which is a friendly reminder to click the like and subscribe button. Yeah, not the best ratio in terms of likes. Now, scrolling down the comments, and again, this is straight from Kamala Harris, or no, Obama's extra account. And again, he is one of the most popular politicians of our era. And again, the U.S. is about 50-50 split. One would think the comments would be about 50-50 supporting and not supporting. I don't know what the Las Vegas odds are that they will be, but we'll go ahead and find out. Scrolling down, one of the first comments comes from the Texas one, saying, you have to because y'all stuck to this clown, getting 757 likes. Paul Zupa says, quote, is there anything the Democratic Party does that isn't contrived hoax? This is clearly staged and act out. It's totally cringe. Barack and Michelle Obama just made Boars Head more unlikable. The American people want a genuine person, not a total fraud. Getting 996 likes. Oh, that being said, of course, it's clearly staged. I mean, it's basically it's a glorified commercial. I mean, so of course it's staged. I'm not going to critique them for that. I'm sure many politicians do that. And I guess they thought it was a good idea. Again, we have someone by the name of World Statistics says, here we go, getting 839 likes. Marjorie Taylor Greene personally parody account says, posting you support for Kamala really early, hoping no one would see. Looks like Obama was able to get Kamala to agree to be his puppet, getting 7.8 thousand likes. Andy Froma says Kamala will lose, getting 10,000 likes. What the heck was this? Franklin says, woohoo, thanks Obama. Did you get a handshake from the guy? We got 1.3 thousand likes. This Mr. Franklin profile says, farming engagement to help you earn high Banshee recode. Used to trade NFTs. Vote Harris 2024. And it's a verified account, followed by 168,000 people. Jeez Louise. So I guess that's his picture getting I guess, yeah, it's him getting a handshake from Obama. Getting 1.3 thousand likes. Let's see here. TV Avant says, choose your class wisely. What's Kamala Harris saying here?
Good afternoon, Wisconsin!
You can do it, baby. I love you so much. And it's bad news. Bad things are happening. Mom, I'm sorry. Mom, I didn't do it.
I guess it's funny they took Trump out of context there, or is part of it? I don't know. Got 2,000 likes. Going down more and more. Let's see. Another supporter. There is Tomer, Tomer, Tomer. Rosenberg, who has 3,000 followers. He says, quote, standing strong with Kamala Harris, together we can make a difference for our country's future. I agree, there will be a difference. Probably make our lives a hell of a lot worse and take away our guns and our freedom, but nevertheless, it would technically, it would be different. That did get 7,000 likes. Do people agree with him? Yeah, a couple. Andy Fremmel also says Trump 2024 getting 3.7 thousand likes. Alex Stone says, cool, Trump 2024, picture of Trump iconically holding his hand up in defiance after being shot by, we'll see who really planned that eventually, maybe, getting 9.6 thousand likes. Dan Valmole says the Obama's timing has always been remarkable, getting 3,000 likes. Here. Greg says, you let the people down by not running for another term, Mr. Ex-President, getting 3.7 thousand likes. I mean, Biden's policies are pretty much Obama, so. Binks Langman says, quote, you successfully performed a silent coup against the same president and chose the most unlikable woman on planet Earth to take his place. Gail Porter Czar getting 2.1 thousand likes, which, yeah, she's not, I mean, she was so unsuccessful in politics in terms of like, in 2020, I mean, she didn't even get like, what, not even 5% in the primary in California. Brian Cranston says, the excitement among young people reminds me of 16 years ago when the Chicago guy ran, getting 3.4 thousand likes. I mean, I don't know how many young people are excited about her. Brian Brun Moon says, hope, getting 940 likes, which, again, was one of the most effective marketing campaigns and political campaigns is Obama's hope and change. Those posters are, I mean, that was a successful campaign, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not. Scrolling down more and more. Raj says, why were they filming when you called? Getting 893 likes. News Nomad says, why did it take days for you to endorse her? Why is this posted at 5 a.m.? Getting 228 likes, which that's the most backwards-assed endorsement ever. We're going to post at 5 a.m. when only crazy gym people like me are up and working out. I mean, most people are not getting up so much later. That says something when they're posting it at 5 a.m. That is, when you look at it, I mean, I research statistics on, when's the best time to post. I mean, that's literally the worst time. Like, I mean, most analytics, I mean, especially, yeah, it's usually, a lot of people say, 9 to 11 o'clock, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. No one says 5 a.m. Maybe it was, what time zone was it? That's weird. Amy 2112 says, and there just happened to be a camera present. What's coincidence? Getting 646 likes. A lot of people saying you missed. Blaze Anthony Mason says, President Harris is really amazing, isn't she? It says, I stand with her. Then they have like a little a little Scrabble thing where her also spells Harris vertically. I got 122 likes by Mr. Blaze Anthony. He has 857 followers. I was going to say, another friendly reminder to follow me at The Topping Show on X Twitter. Let's see here. One of the best highlights of Kamala Harris being immoral. This is when Tulsi Gabbard just destroyed her during the primary in 2020. It's from Bill Elmore says, who wants to see another debate with Kamala? Well, about 51 seconds, but it is a pretty good burn.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California.
Fun fact, her family is, again, derived from slave owners, which one of the most hilarious things about politics is Trump was the only one that was not related to them.
And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Which, again, I'm going to say, with the slaveholders or descendants, one of the things where, again, you're not responsible for your generations ago, but it's one of those things where, again, the double standards, they're not calling it out now. That got 234 likes here. America AF says, no one is voting for Kamala, Trump 2024. Got 700 likes. May says, you hate Joe Biden, don't you? You did him ugly, getting 425 likes, which, yep, I don't think it's a coincidence. I mean, he's been seen now for years. All of a sudden, his approval ratings are all-time low after the debate. All the media and all the DNC started to shift radically and just kick him aside. Pretty opportunistic of them. Let's see here. Alexander Shepard says, do you think this would make people like Kamala? It's so cringe, getting 162 likes. AKA says, no one cares, getting 374 likes. And that being said, there are millions of people who will just do whatever Obama says. I mean, he's still hugely impactful, hugely influential. I mean, people will vote just based on what he says. Now, will it be enough to actually, will it really matter? Let's see here. So, a couple positive statements for her, but overwhelming negative. There's 10,000 votes. We'll play with this poll. Kings of Poll says, % chances Kamala Harris beating Donald Trump in the presidential elections. They should have a caveat in terms of who's counting the votes, what kind of process there is, are illegals voting. So he's got 0, 1 to 33, 3, 66. All things fair, I think the actual percentage would be, the U.S. is 50-50 in terms of Democrat-Republican. That being said, she's hugely unpopular. What is the odds she beats Trump? 1 to 33%. Wow, 27% said that there's 0 chance. 1 to 33% was 15% of people said that. 17% of people said the odds were between 33 and 66%. 41% the odds of really beating Trump is 66 to 100%. You get 91 likes for that particular poll. Let's see here. One more. The Doug Glory says, I thought Big Mike would run. It's a picture of Camacho from good old, what used to be considered a dystopian, science fiction movie. But, yeah, it turns out President Camacho, Yeah, it's one of those things where that movie's almost becoming more and more of a reality. And, not so good. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, do you think this endorsement will push her a couple more points ahead in the polls? I mean, how many millions of people are going to be affected by the endorsement of Obama? Let me know in the comments. As always, it'll be fascinating to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, you have Vivek saying we still have time and shouldn't push Biden out in a viral statement on X Twitter. Now, this comes exactly from Vivek's account, and he says, quote, time for our side to wake up with some hard realities fast. 1, stop calling on Biden to step down or be forced out. That would just give Kamala all the benefits of running as an incumbent U.S. president, and she won't be any better for the U.S. in the next 5 months than Biden will be. 2, stop attacking Kamala for locking up too many people as a prosecutor. It lends credibility to the otherwise ridiculous claim that she's a law and order candidate. 110%, well, unquote, 110% true. I think a lot of people, including myself, are calling out the hypocrisy of her being inebriated on the devil's lettuce while she herself sends people to jail. Again, if you do break the law, send them to jail. A great opportunity for Trump to, again, say, I'd put you in jail, or no, you'd be in jail. I mean, that'd be good. Just repeat that. Nevertheless, quote, 3, stop saying that Kamala covered up to help Biden, while also saying that Kamala staged a coup to overthrow Biden. It doesn't make sense to say both at once, and if we say things that don't make sense, we will get less votes. Our biggest risk isn't that voters will suddenly fall in love with Kamala. She didn't even make it to her own party's Iowa caucus because voters didn't like her, despite fake enthusiasm that the media tried to generate around her even back then. Our biggest risk is that we get distracted and forget our own vision for the future of the United States. We're going to win this thing by defining who we are and what we are actually standing for: merit, free speech, self-governance, the rule of law. Historic landslide for Trump is still achievable. It's up to us to seize it, unquote. Getting 3.5 million views, as well as 123,000 likes, with even Elon himself chipping in. Now, pulling up, you see the comments here. One of the first ones comes from Paul Zupa saying, quote, "All we need to do is show how Kamala helped ruin the economy and the border. That's what Americans care most about. It's simple and effective, and it works against whichever Democrat candidates they go with. They're all complicit," unquote, getting 2.4 thousand likes. Elon Musk chimes in saying wise words, getting 8,000. Could it be 9,000 now? No, okay. My additional like was not the one needed to push over the top. Nevertheless, still got 8,000 likes. Scrolling down more and more, you have William Brown saying, "Are memes still okay, Vivek?" It's Chris Farley looking at Kamala. He says, "Oh, could I do a Chris Farley voice?" No, I'm not. I can't go that far. Chris Farley says, quote, or not, again, this meme says of Chris Farley speaking, says, quote, "Remember when you had to drop out of the 2020 race because no one was voting for you? Yeah, that was awesome." Yeah, it got 1.9 thousand likes. AKA says, "Well said, Vivek," getting 4.9 thousand likes. Lindsay James, anti-communist, says, quote, James Lindsay, anti-communist, says, quote, "She's a communist. America deserves to have that conversation bluntly," getting 5.3 thousand likes, which, again, she proudly and famously has said in many videos and speeches that she believes in equity, not equality, and she has said that everyone should end up at the same spot. Great. And again, some people make different life choices. Some people put in more hours than others. Yeah. That's mentally vacuous and evil to force everyone to end up in the same spot. CP simply says, "Well said," getting 238 likes. Ben says, "Vivek spitting facts," getting 753 likes. Let's see here. The Meme Lab says Biden's the biggest failure as a president, and his dystopian AI picture of Biden almost looks like the end of the world, and the city's all abandoned. And he has an ice cream cone that says, "The humiliation of being rejected even by his own party is fitting, and your life spent betraying his own country." Getting 1,000 likes. One bad dude says, "How about they stole an election and we want trials?" Getting 639 likes. Matthew Liberto says, "Vivek, you are a legend, sir. Completely well said," getting 896 likes. Junitos Rum says, "Completely disagree with one. Put her in the Oval Office for 100 days, and any actual support she had would utterly evaporate," getting 607 likes, which I don't think so. I mean, a lot of people who are supporting her now don't think would ever stop supporting her. Again, there are millions of people who will vote for her just because, the age and the race. That is a huge component. And it's not speculation. There are people on X Twitter saying, "You go, girl," saying like girls for Kamala. That is not an insignificant percentage of voters. Even if they see her failing, they're not going to stop supporting her. At least the majority of them won't. Now, you also have Deep AX saying, "You seriously need a massive role in the Trump cabinet," getting 797 likes, which that'd be awesome. Scrolling down more and more. The Calvin Coolidge Project says, "Very well stated, Vivek," getting 588 likes. Bella says, you are right, Vivek," getting 185 likes. Not Elon Musk says, "Republicans love to lose, and so we're calling Biden to step aside. You're completely right, and it would be the most boneheaded move now. She would not just have the bully pulpit, but also the power of the presidency at her disposal," getting 503 likes. And of course, this is Marky saying, "You sound scared, fam." Oh, there's no volume on that video? Really? Interesting. Kimberly Slack simply says, "Thank you," getting 155 likes. Yeah, Republican, and again, in terms of the ineptitudes of the Republican Party and their marketing and their strategies, they are very similar to the Chicago Bears. I mean, they'll be good next year, I'm told. They've also said that since the 80s or 70s. They seem to like to lose. It's so mind-boggling I can barely speak properly. They have a long track record of, stealing victory from the jaws of defeat or something like that. I really think they should have Vivek as more of a primary role, and we'll see where he ends up at the end of the day if he gets on Trump's cabinet. But yeah, I think this is a very apt take on the situation. I think he's 110% correct. And will the Republican Party listen to him? What kind of direction will they take as you get closer to the election? And what are your thoughts? Do you think, it would be more strategically sound for her to still remain VP while Biden does things? Or do you think it'd be better if, she usurps the throne now? Let me know in the comments. As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going over to the business blunder of the day, you have the Boars Head recalling about 207,000 pounds of meat, which is not great news. Now, this comes to us thanks to NBC. They say, quote, Boar's Head recalls more than 207,000 pounds of meat due to listeria concerns. A sample of Boar's Head liverwurst was found to be contaminated with listeria bacteria during an inspection into a multi-state outbreak. And you can see some of their delicious products there. And this is by Aria Bendix, who's right over there. And they say, quote, the company initiated the recall after liverwurst at a store in Maryland tested positive for listeria. The sample was collected as part of an investigation into a multi-state outbreak that had taken 34 people across 13 states. All but one of these people were hospitalized. Jeez, at least unfortunately, 2 people passed away, a patient in Illinois and another in New Jersey. Health authorities say the outbreak is most likely linked to sliced meat sold at deli counters. Many of those affected reported eating items like turkey, liverwurst, or ham. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, Food and Safety Inspection Service announced the recall, said further testing is ongoing to determine if Maryland's sample is connected to the outbreak. Recall includes Boar's Head ready-to-eat liverwurst produced from June 11th to July 17th, as well as other deli meat products that were manufactured on the same machinery around that time, such as salami, bologna, and ham. The Boar's Head spokesperson said the company is conducting its own investigation and cooperating with government officials. Quote, the health and safety of our consumers is our top priority. As soon as listeria adulteration was confirmed at our Strasburger brand liverwurst, we immediately and voluntarily recalled the product, unquote. Again, this is a spokesperson for the company. They also say, quote, out of an abundance of caution, we also made the decision to voluntarily recall additional products that were produced on the same line and on the same day as the liverwurst product. Which, again, that's good that they were able to get ahead of the situation in that regard. And it is unfortunate that someone has passed away. They say that, again, this is actually from Darren Dietler, who's a professor of food regulation at Northwestern University, say, quote, for every one case that gets reported, there's 15, 20, 25 cases that go unreported because there's so many people get sick and they go, oh, I have a stomach bug, I'll recover. Now, looks like the recall is underway. It's being pulled off shelves. And again, they're saying that, quote, people who bought infected products should throw them away or return them to the store and also clean out the refrigerators, this is according to a USDA spokesperson, since the bacteria can grow in cold temperatures and spread to other foods. So definitely not great news and very sad and unfortunate that someone's passed away from this. Again, spread this news to all your friends. If anyone in that area of the country and if they've been purchasing this brand's product, try to spread that word as much as possible. So hopefully prevent additional people passing away from this. And I mean, it's good that they did the recall prior to being forced to by the government. So they were getting ahead of it as soon as they could. So there's a little silver lining in that situation. But unfortunately, I have an issue where someone's passed away from your product. And again, it's supposed to be a more premium brand. I have friends who actually do appreciate many other products. But unfortunately, having a recall with deaths also associated with it, I gotta say that it's certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you again, everyone, for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving me a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.